Marc Raimondi for ESPN here today with you with none other than Paddy, the Paddy Pimblett, who of course fights Jared Gordon, UFC 282, December 10th, Las Vegas. Huge fight for you, Paddy. I want to get right into it and talk to you about this fight with Jared Gordon. Because a lot of people are saying that, this is kind of a launching pad for you. This is a pay-per-view. I know you wanted to be on a pay-per-view. It's the main card. Actually, I think it's the co-main event now, considering the changes that have happened. How big is this fight for you coming up?
This is just another step forward in my career, lad. You know what I mean? This is just standard procedure to me. This is just normal practice. Like, I was the people's main event anyway before I got put to co-main events. I was the reason people were buying this card and people were buying tickets. I was putting the bums on the seats. It's my star power. So, this is just normal.
This fight against Jared Gordon, and he's a guy that is very tough. He's had a rough life. He's faced a lot of adversity in his life, so not a guy that's going to go down easy. Mentally speaking, mindset wise, like, how do you approach a fight with a guy like that?
You just got to come out and be the best version of yourself, lad. I don't really try and concern myself too much with my opponents. It's more about me. Like, my opponent can do whatever he wants in the build up to it, training for it and all that, but they've got to prepare to fight me. All these other opponents, they're all like, you can find other people that are stylistically like them to spar with and stuff like that. You can't find anyone that is like me to grapple with or to strike with, because I'm a proper strange weirdo.
What does that mean exactly? How can you expand on that? A proper strange weirdo.
And there's no one fights like me, lad. I'm just different. I'm not normal. You know what I mean? I'm not like your normal fighter. Like, I'm very wild and unpredictable. You don't know what I'm going to do next. You can't really game plan to fight me because you don't know how I'm going to turn up and try and fight you. I could strike with you if I want to. I could wrestle, or I could pull guard. You know what I mean? I can do any of the three. It really depends on how I feel on the night.
Do you feel like over the last few months, maybe even over the last year, the growth of that star power of that brand, have you felt it? And if you have, what does that look like? Are there examples of that?
Yeah, of course. Everywhere I go now, I can't really go anywhere without me hood up and stuff. Otherwise, I'm just standing in one position for 15, 20 minutes, getting picture after picture after picture. When I first came to America last year after a fought, I had my debut in September, and then I came at the start of November. And when I was in Times Square in New York, and when I was in a yard house in San Diego, all people were coming over to me asking for pictures. Now it's at a new level. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go. But I always said this was going to happen. If you find interviews of me from 10 years ago, I've always said I'm going to be the biggest star in this sport, and I'm just proving myself right.
So now you have had this pay-per-view opportunity. It's the co-main event, Jared Gordon. The star power is already noticeable, right? It's already there. You win this fight. Where does it go from there?
As I say, this is just another step in my career, another step in the trajectory of how big of a star I'm going to become. Like, I am going to be the biggest star in this sport. I probably am already at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Like, no one's getting numbers on stuff like I am. If you just watch Fight Week, when the UFC put stuff up for me, and then he put stuff up for other people, my reels and stuff get 10 times the views of everyone else's.
No, I mean you're not wrong about that. Certainly. Do you have like a time frame in mind, like, or do you have like maybe like a formula in mind? Like, after this fight, do you want to be headlining a pay-per-view next, or at least headlining a fight night? Do you have like an idea of what that looks like?
As I say, I take everything one fight at a time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna enjoy a nice holiday with my missus in Thailand for 2.5 weeks in January. Hopefully I can get a fight in before I get married in May. But we'll
Oh,
see what happens. You
congrats.
know what I mean? Yeah, hopefully I come out of this fight unscathed. But you never know; anything can happen in a fight. So we'll see what happens.
Where are you guys getting married?
Oh, in the UK, we're not going anywhere special.
Okay, okay. And do you have a honeymoon planned?
No, we haven't got nothing planned just yet. You know what I mean? As I say, there's all sorts of different things that I've got in the pipeline. I've got to do all sorts of different things.
2023 is going to be a busy year for you, man.
Yeah, it is in and out of the cage.
Exactly, exactly. So maybe one more fight before the May wedding date.
Yeah, I'd love to get one more in. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
would. I'd love to get another one in. And then obviously I'll have to go on my honeymoon and stuff. Have a couple of months off over the summer.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I wanted to ask you this. So I know that you're creeping up in the rankings, and obviously you want the title. But we did a thing at ESPN a few weeks back about Conor McGregor's returning next year. Who should Conor McGregor fight? And the guy that I chose for McGregor's next fight, for his return fight, is Paddy the Baddy, because I think it's a win-win for everybody, right? It's the two biggest stars possibly in the UFC at that moment. Why not have them fight each other? What are your thoughts on that?
It'd be the biggest pay-per-view that the UFC's ever seen, like, put it that way. Goes without saying. But I think when Conor comes back, he'll be fighting at 170.
Probably.
He'll struggle to make 155 now, to be honest. He's looking big. But I respect Conor, you know what I mean? What he's done for this sport, he's done a lot more than most other people have done for this sport. And I think he gets a bad rap. Like, he doesn't get the respect he deserves.
If I mean, you're right, it'll most likely be at 170. Would you meet him up there if that was an option for you?
Yeah. Get that paper. You know that.
Of course, no brainer, right?
Yeah, no brainer. You know what I mean? Anyone that say no to fight Conor's an idiot. Simple as that. Dos Anjos is slacking pulling out all them years ago. I bet he regrets that.
What was that?
I bet you Dos Anjos regrets pulling out of that fight years ago. Bet you that's the biggest regret of his life.
Probably right. Probably right. I've noticed something, and we were talking about like your star power and that your brand that's building, and I've noticed something that kind of happened with Conor as well, where people are calling you out, and not even people from MMA. There are people from pro wrestling calling you out. I saw just a few minutes before we did this call, Patty, that Jake Paul is calling you out. What
Yeah.
is your take on all this stuff?
Just shows who the boy is, lad. Shows I'm the daddy. You know what I mean? I am the main star, lad. I am the cash cow, as I always said I was going to be before I ever had my UFC debut. I'm the one that's on, my name's on the end of everyone's tongue, lad. You know what I mean? So, not just, as you say, every lightweight talks about me. You know what I mean? And people go on, oh, he's scared of him because I don't mention people's names. Why would I give anyone else any publicity? You know what I mean? Why would I mention anyone's name and give them publicity? I'm the main man. You keep talking about me. All these lightweights must have posters of me on the walls. I'll sign them for them if they bring them to Vegas next week.
What's going on with Jake Paul? I saw that he called you out. I think he's saying
No,
that
he must have. I
fights
must
are
have said
fake or
something.
something.
I said something in a podcast when that punch, the phantom punch against Anderson Silva, where Anderson just sat down for him. Come on, know what I mean? The punch never even hit him, and he sits down. Anderson's on the back end of his career. He's 47 years of age. If someone says to him, "Here's 10 million there, just sit down when a punch gets to you," I reckon he would. And that's not questioning his integrity or nothing. That's just what someone would do towards the back end of the career. It's happened plenty of times in the past, in the boxing world, not in MMA. But I just don't think that punch hit Anderson or hurt him in any way, and he sat down for him. And then Jake won a split decision in that, didn't he? So without that, Anderson sitting down off that punch and getting a 10-8 round, he wouldn't have won. So I just think, like, Jake Paul's got a lot better. Jake Paul's boxing's not bad. I actually think he would beat Tommy Fury up. I do. But I'll batter Jake Paul. End of. But I know for a fact that he wouldn't give me $1 million. I know for a fact he wouldn't. He talks all this game. And the reason he said that is because he knows full well I'm fighting next week. I'm fighting next week at 155. I can't go and spar him the next few days when my flight to Vegas is on Thursday. So if Jake Paul wants to come to the UFC, come and watch me fight, I'll put a nice little bit of weight back on. I'm still in Vegas till the Tuesday. He can come to PI on the Monday and we'll spar. And he can bring $1 million with him. And when I beat him up, he can give me the $1 million.
So there it is. Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. But I'm not coming to Puerto Rico when I'm fighting next Saturday. If you want to come and spar, get the PI next week. As I say, I fight Saturday. I'll chill Sunday and I'll beat you up Monday. Offers there.
There it is. There it is. Just a couple more things, Patty. Thanks again for taking the time out. You got into a little bit of a beef also with MJF. the AEW champion. I think it was in the comments of the Barstool Instagram.
It was.
What happened
Yeah.
there? Did you know who he was? Like, what happened there?
No, I didn't have a clue who he was. But one of my coaches, one of my mates, former teammates who's now retired, Adam Venter, he watches AEW, he loves the wrestling. And I was like, lad, this fella's giving some back here. Because he said something like, I interpreted it as MMA fighters aren't as tough as wrestlers. We get more injuries and all that. So I was like, lad, you get in a cage and have a fight then, lad, and let's find out. And like, we had a back and forth. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things. We had a back and forth. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you seen MJF at the UFC or you saw me at an AEW show. But they're meant to be coming to London. Well, going to London next year. So you never know. You could see me at Craven Cottage ringside.
I feel like this is a world that you would fit in very well in pro wrestling.
Yeah,
like a glove, like you in pro wrestling like a glove.
Yeah, I used to watch the WWE when I was younger. You know, my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. So
me too.
Everyone's he's what a guy. I can't wait to Sweet Chin Music someone in the cage. But everyone says I look like Owen Hart, so it fits like a glove.
Perfect. Last thing, you went viral. Another sign that this star power is like growing like crazy. The doorbell cam. I guess your dog took. This is ESPN's Disney, so we can kind of keep it a little bit clean here, but maybe a little bit had a little bit of an accident on their grass. What happened there?
Well, yeah. My dog right outside someone's front path had a proper sloppy poo, and I couldn't pick it up with a bag. He'd already had three solid poos on the walk because it was his first walk of the day. He'd been in the house all day because the weather was terrible. As I say, I'm a decent human being. Know what I mean? It's common courtesy. I wouldn't want the person to come home and stand in and then walk through their house. So I just knocked on to say, have you got any warm soapy water so I can clean it up for them? And luckily enough, the woman was very nice, lovely woman. And she just said, oh, don't worry about it. I'll clean it when I come home. As I say, I just think that's common courtesy. It's human decency.
A lot of people wouldn't do that, though. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, if you walk the streets of Los Angeles, where I live, you see that kind of thing, and people are not cleaning up.
The same in Liverpool, lad. People think they're too good to pick up their own dog. If you're not going to pick up your own dog's poo, don't get a dog. Simple as that.
Wise words from Paddy the Batty. We'll leave it there. Paddy, thank you so much again. Pimblett, Gordon, UFC 282, co-main event, December 10th, Las Vegas. Huge opportunity. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much.
You know that fella. I'm going to blow the roof off the T-Mobile. Goes without saying.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.